Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Maximilian College Basketball Picks and Analysis for Saturday, January 10th. I'm your host, Max Hofmeyer, and I've got 5 games we will be discussing for today. And as always, make sure to subscribe if you have been tailing any of the plays and help the channel grow. But first, let's go ahead and recap last episode's 2 and 1. And this was on Thursday, as there was no episode Friday, with just a few games taking place, as we've got 149 games on deck for Saturday's mega slate. So should be a fun one. Should be plenty of action going on. So Thursday's 2 and 1 though puts us at a nice 21 and 11 to start the show. So a nice 66% win rate, which that's going to be hard to sustain, but certainly will try my best. So let's go ahead and dive into Saturday's plays. And for the first one of our 5 plays, we head to the MAC, where Ohio is laying 4.5 points here at home. Buffalo, they're off to a nice 3-0 start in MAC play, but it is a little suspect, kind of like much their season, actually, as they've only played the 340th ranked non-con schedule, and then they started with 3 bottom MAC teams. So just a little suspect here for Buffalo to start. In those 3 MAC games as well, they shot 41% from deep, which is well above their expectations, something that I don't really expect to continue here on the road. Ohio's 3-point defense, they have seen some improvement here in the MAC, only allowing 31% in their just couple games, though. But still, 31% has been much better than their 36% allowed on the season. So for the first one, going to go ahead and take Ohio here, minus 4.5, and sell high on a Buffalo team that has certainly outperformed expectations thus far this season. And for the second play, we got a matchup between Drexel and William and Mary in the CAA. I've talked about how this Bill and Mary team, they've kind of been playing with fire all season, and it's certainly burned them the last 2 games with losses to Monmouth and Charleston on the road. The reason they were playing with fire, and I kind of talked about this in a different episode, but I'll mention it again if you haven't been following. William and Mary, their defense, they allow a ton of threes, 328th in 3-point frequency allowed, but they were only allowing like 26% efficiency on the season. But now that sits at 28%, but still an expected 34% from that we would expect William and Mary to be allowing based on the quality of shots taken. So I think there still is value in fading this William and Mary team. And Drexel, they've been shooting much better at home from deep, 39% from 3-point at home. So I think William and Mary could get burned here a third time. So I'm going to go ahead and bet on Drexel here, plus 3.5 for the second play. And I think William and Mary might drop their 3rd straight game. And for the third play, we head to the SoCon. Chattanooga is hosting Samford here, and the Mocs are laying 1 at home. Chattanooga has been struggling all year, and I believe it's due to the health of their big man, Colin Mulholland, who he's just been in and out of the lineup, has not been able to stay healthy, and he did end up missing last game, and they've really missed his production for sure. This matchup's going to come down to who can hit their threes. Both teams like to shoot the 3 ball. Samford 52nd in 3-point frequency, and Chattanooga is 9th. And for that reason, I'm going to be taking Samford here for the third plays. These 2 teams are just heading in opposite directions. Chattanooga, 32% from deep on the season and just 33% in their conference games to start. And Samford has actually seen some improvements here. Their 33% of the season has improved to 39% in conference play. So I'm going to go ahead and take Samford here, as these 2 teams are just trending here in the opposite directions. And for the fourth play, we got a fun one in the SEC, as Auburn is hosting and laying 1 point here versus Arkansas. Auburn, they're off an extremely controversial finish. If you didn't see their last game versus Texas A&M, they ended up hitting a game winner, at least they thought, but apparently did not get it off in time. So, first-year head coach Stephen Pearl really going to learn a lesson there and have to get his guys ready and just forget that one and move on, as this Arkansas team should be a tough matchup. They've really impressed thus far. Arkansas, they're 12-3 on the year. and their 3 losses are to Michigan State, Duke, and Houston, which is not a bad resume, especially for an Arkansas team. Their schedule ranks 38th, so if those are your only losses, you've definitely got some good wins as well. They've been led by their freshman sensation, who has just gone nuclear the last 2 games, scoring 26 against Ole Miss and 29 versus Tennessee, which even against, a Beard squad that's been struggling, that's still, especially the Tennessee game, that's huge for Darius Acuff, who has been so impressive this year. And if you do that versus, those teams, this Auburn matchup should be a cakewalk. Auburn's defense, they rank 106 nationally, and so far through just 2 SEC games, 15th. Georgia and Texas A&M were those two teams as well, which I wouldn't consider them world beaters on offense. They might look like it on paper, but their analytical profile is definitely a little inflated due to weak non-con schedules for those teams. So I'm going to go ahead and take Arkansas here for the 4th one. I think they put up a big number, and I just don't see how Auburn is stopping this team. And for the final play, we go to the Mountain West, which should be another good one here between Boise and Utah State. Utah State has been really impressive this year, off to a 4-0 start in conference play, thanks to their ability to, grab offensive rebounds and force turnovers. And they were able to take advantage of their Mountain West competition to start, but it's been kind of weaker competition. Fresno State, San Jose State, and Air Force are certainly the bottom of the conference. So I'm a little suspect of their ability to push Boise around like they have those teams, especially because Boise, although they might be average, taking care of the ball, this is one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country, second nationally. So just an elite defensive rebounding team. So not expecting Utah State to be able to grab their usual diet of offensive rebounds. Should also be a good spot to take Boise here. They certainly need a bounce back after 2 games ago. They had a tough triple overtime game with San Diego State on the road, then had to return home and just got caught off guard by a Grand Canyon team and absolutely blown out. So I am going to take Boise State to bounce back here and hopefully right the ship and dish Utah State their first conference loss of the season. And that will do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe as you don't want to miss any future episodes. And I hope you enjoy a loaded Saturday slate full of college basketball. Should be a super fun one, tons of action, and best of luck on all of your wagers.